Hello everyone. Welcome to the in-depth exploration of the life and political career of Margaret Thatcher. Often referred to as the Iron Lady, Thatcher made an indelible mark on world politics, shaping the future of Great Britain and inspiring a new era of conservatism. But who was Margaret Thatcher? What were her origins, how did she rise to power, and what were the key elements of her political and social contribution? Born on October 13, 1925, in Grantham, a town in Lincolnshire, England, Margaret Thatcher was the second daughter of grocer Alfred Roberts and his wife Beatrice. Despite her humble origins, she excelled academically and secured a place at Kesteven and Grantham Girls' School. Thatcher had a thirst for knowledge and a determined nature, which became defining characteristics throughout her life. After completing her education at Grantham Girls' School, the young Thatcher won a scholarship to study chemistry at Somerville College, Oxford. She graduated with second-class honors in 1947 and worked briefly as a chemist. However, her true calling lay in politics, and she soon began her parliamentary career, running as the Conservative candidate for Dartford in 1950. Although she lost the Dartford election, Thatcher made a considerable impression and was soon selected as the Conservative candidate for Finchley. She won the seat in 1959 and was made a junior minister in 1961. This marked the beginning of her rapid political ascent. During the 1960s, Thatcher established herself as a leading figure within the Conservative Party. She held various cabinet positions, culminating in her becoming the first female leader of the Conservative Party in 1975. Despite her considerable achievements, some within her party and in the country at large remained skeptical of her leadership, but as history would remember, Thatcher was about to redefine British politics. In 1979, the Conservatives under Thatcher were victorious in the general election, making her Britain's first female Prime Minister. And thus began the era of Thatcherism, a political philosophy informed by her belief in free markets, personal responsibility, and determination to roll back the economic role of the state. Central to Thatcherism was the idea of popular capitalism, the belief that a stakeholder society could create economic incentives where all could benefit from increased national prosperity. Thatcher also prioritized lower taxation, reduced public spending, and a tight rein on the money supply to reduce inflation. Despite these economic successes, Thatcher's policies had stark social consequences. The reduction of state intervention led to the closure of many loss-making industries, resulting in job losses and social upheaval. Furthermore, her stance on individualism drew fierce criticism from many left-of-center groups and politicians, leading to societal divisions. Thatcher's foreign policy was no less dramatic. She was a key player in the fall of the Berlin Wall and the dissolution of the Soviet Union. Domestically, she had an infamous relationship with trade unions, most notably during the miners' strikes of the mid-1980s. Despite widespread opposition and protests, Thatcher stood firm, earning her the nickname the Iron Lady. The Falklands War of 1982 represented the zenith of Thatcher's premiership, with Britain successfully reclaiming the disputed territory from Argentina. This victory rejuvenated Thatcher's popularity, leading to her re-election in 1983. By the mid-1980s, the effect of Thatcher's policies and high unemployment led to unrest in the UK and from within her party. After winning a third general election, Thatcher's popularity waned, and she resigned from the leadership in 1990. Thatcher's profound influence on British society endures. From her upbringing in a grocer's family to becoming a political trailblazer, she remains an embodiment of aspiration and resilience. Her ironclad belief in the superiority of individual freedoms and the free market economy continues to be the hallmark of her legacy. Beyond the economic and social transformation, Thatcher was known for her uncompromising approach to diplomacy and her pivotal role in global affairs. She cemented Britain's special relationship with the United States under President Ronald Reagan, and took a hardline stance against the Soviet Union, famously stating, "I am extraordinarily patient, provided I get my own way in the end." After leaving office, Thatcher maintained an active public profile. She was made a baroness and continued her involvement in politics, diplomacy, and charitable activities. Her health declined in later years, and she passed away on April 8, 2013, leaving a lasting imprint on world politics. The controversy surrounding her legacy persists, and Thatcher remains a divisive figure, simultaneously celebrated and maligned. However, there is no underestimating her contribution to the political climate of her time and her profound impact on British politics and society. Her story is compelling and instructive, reflecting the complexities of leadership and the far-reaching impact of political decisions. Thatcher's political and social contribution is vast and multifaceted. She is remembered by supporters and detractors alike for her forceful character, steadfastness, and dedication to particular philosophical principles. Regardless of where one stands on the political spectrum, Margaret Thatcher remains an influential and intriguing figure in the annals of history. Thatcher's story continues to inspire subsequent generations of women in politics and leadership roles. Her journey from a small-town grocer's daughter to the highest office in the United Kingdom showed what determination can achieve, and her impactful policies and decisions altered the course of history. At its core, Thatcher's legacy remains rooted in the ideas of individualism, self-reliance, and the belief in the potential of an open free market system. Her perspective on these themes, whether admired or reviled, provided a distinct lens through which global political discourse was understood and debated. As we saw in this exploration, Margaret Thatcher's meteoric rise from modest beginnings to head of the British government was no less than extraordinary. Driven by her convictions, she transformed Britain during her reign as the country's longest-serving Prime Minister of the 20th century. Some decades after her tenure, the legacy of the Iron Lady can still be felt in the ethos of British politics. While her policies have been both staunchly supported and vehemently contested, her uncompromising spirit and remarkable tenacity have left an indelible mark on the course of modern British society and politics. Reflecting on Thatcher's legacy, we consider how Britain changed in the 1980s under her leadership. Her bold philosophy of individual enterprise, determination to reduce state intervention, and combative foreign policies all contributed to a period of upheaval, both domestically and internationally. In the end, Margaret Thatcher's influence on world politics looms large. From remaking the British society with her economic and social policies to impacting the geopolitical landscape with her defense of Western values against communism, Thatcher's legacy endures, making her a figure of continued fascination and debate. To fully grasp the depth and breadth of Thatcher's contributions, it is important to consider the broader context in which she operated. She stood at the intersection of historical, economic, and social forces, and her policies and decisions reflected the exigencies and opportunities of that time. Beyond Britain, Thatcher influenced leaders worldwide with her brand of conservative politics and economic policy prescription. As such, her impact was not confined within her home country's borders, but was felt far and wide, shaping policy discourse internationally. As we come to the end of our deep dive into Thatcher's life and influence, we are left with a nuanced understanding of a leader profoundly shaped by her origins, who was unafraid to challenge the status quo, and whose ideas continue to spark debates and drive policy decisions. Margaret Thatcher, a grocer's daughter, a chemist, a parliamentarian, a political trailblazer, a warmonger, a stateswoman, and ultimately, an enduring public figure. Hers was a life marked by achievement, but also by controversy and by a ceaseless determination to change the world, for good or ill. Even 30 years after she left office, Margaret Thatcher continues to evoke intense reactions around the world. There is no doubt that she is poised to remain as one of the most iconic political figures in Western political history. With the broad and balanced view that we have endeavored to provide, it is clear that understanding the world's view of Thatcher is essential to grasping not only her own impact, but more broadly, the profound transformation of political and economic thought she set into motion. At the core of Thatcher's enduring legacy is her recognition by future political leaders as someone who could change not only policies, but also hearts and minds. As we journey further into the 21st century, it will be fascinating to see how her radical vision of society and the economy continues to shape the trajectory of political thought. Margaret Thatcher, a towering figure of 20th century world politics, a memorial yet sometimes polarizing icon. Her name is forever embedded in the historical narrative of Britain and global politics, a force to be reckoned with during her time and a presence still deeply etched in the collective memory, consciousness, and conscience of worldwide political discourse. To truly comprehend Thatcher's mechanisms and influences on a global stage, a closer look might be warranted in the present era. Her policies, her speeches, her negotiations, these woven threads of her multifaceted political life continue to shape the foundation of current global events, local governance, and regional pacts. Margaret Thatcher, a woman who defied odds and changed the political landscape of a nation. Embedded in every decision she made, every reform she championed, and every slogan she uttered, was a belief in a country's potential, undiminished, unbroken, and always striving for progress. Her influence is destined to last longer than a political cycle, a testament to the power of an indomitable spirit shaping and transforming the world. The cultural and political legacy of Thatcher transcend her time in office. Her life story, resilience, successes, and failures continue to provide valuable lessons to the present and future generations. Remembering Margaret Thatcher means reflecting on the complex and often divisive impact of her policies, and on the enduring influence of her legacy in shaping contemporary politics. When all is said and done, the reign of Margaret Thatcher as the British Prime Minister and her influence on global politics provide a forceful testament to the power of an individual to inspire collective change. Her journey from Grantham's grocer's daughter to the first woman to lead a major Western power remains a compelling testament to the potential of aspiration and determination. And please don't forget subscribe, comment, share and like.